It was, of course, just 2 years ago when Sacramento made national headlines after Stephon Clark was shot and killed by police in his grandmother's backyard. The protests that followed shut down streets and even led to arrests.
Let's bring in CBS 13 political analyst Gary Dietrich, who joins us now via Skype. Gary, lots to talk about tonight. Lessons learned, sadly, with this. But is there anything leaders in Minneapolis and other cities who are dealing with this can learn from Sacramento and how we handled the Stephon Clark shooting and the protests that followed?
That's a great question, Tony. You know, I think one of the things that characterized Sacramento's response from the get-go, and you have to give some kudos to Mayor Darrell Steinberg about this, as he said today, I share your outrage about Minneapolis, was a real gentle, kind of empathetic, hands-off approach in terms of force in response to the emotions that spilled over. I mean, there were, you'll remember people jumping on the dais. I mean, some of the city council meetings in Sacramento were pretty raucous after that. So I think Minnesota right now is in that sort of, some people would say, powder keg, real temptation to take aggressive actions, which may or may not be the best solution here, at least in the short term.
All right, well, let's switch gears a little bit and talk about the pandemic and opening up the state. Several California counties are moving rather quickly through the phases of reopening. Is Governor Newsom feeling political pressure at this point to really get the state back to normal?
Yeah, Elizabeth, I don't think there's any question. He said he's not going to bow to political pressure, and, you know, one has to believe him in that. He wants to go, as he said, on the metrics, the iterative process, as he often calls it. But there's no question that around the state, pressure has been building. He was just sued today by a winery that's just minutes from his own in Napa Valley, saying that the guidelines for winery restrictions in Napa County are inappropriate. So the pressure's building. The faith community, as you know, has been very aggressive in this regard. So I think there's no question that a political has to respond to those kinds of things. And I think we're going to see more of that in coming days. The governor's saying he's trying to work collaboratively. That's not always easy to do when you have a state of 40 million people.
Sneak in a question about the budget, Gary. State budget going to have to make some cuts. June 15th, that date looms. We saw Governor Newsom's May revise. Must be done in 2 weeks. What are the chances that when the legislature comes back June 15th, the deadline is going to be met?
Well, that's a great question, Tony, because right now the state Senate released their own budget version today and yesterday, and it is miles, I mean light years apart from the governor's, and includes no pay cut right now for state workers. Remember, the governor had 10% and also assumes that the $14 billion from the federal government is going to come in, which triggers October 1 if it doesn't. So there is a lot of negotiating to be done in the next 2 weeks to try to reach some kind of a compromise by June 15. No question about that.
Yeah, all right. Well, thanks so much for your time tonight. Political analyst Gary Dietrich. We appreciate it.